Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Pleasant Valley. Not only as people win their way into the sanctuary, but also on Facebook. We are a light in this community, and it is our honor to be with you. And today with us, we are so excited. First of all, Mirna Morales is speaking, and it could not have come, yes, and it could not have come at a better time as we, nothing's happening in my world. What about your world? No. Anyway, and it's obviously God works in mysterious ways. Follow your joy. And we need that right now more than anything. And our music is, we're so excited about this too. It is Nora and Addy, and they've been with us before, and we asked our connection to them, Yvonne, we begged them to come back because you brought such joy, such beauty you are who your music is what I'm saying, and we're delighted you're with us today, girls. That ought to make you feel really uncomfortable. So anyway, so also, this is what we're all about. And of course, we have Pamela Bailey, we have our the people in the background here. Okay, this is what we're all about. We are about awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And how we do this is by being soulful, being compassionate, being love, and being agents of change. And right now, I am going to just do a brief, with some music if possible underneath, about just coming together right here and right now. And I always place my hand on my heart, and these times especially, which Spirit Divine in me is love, God, Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, whatever you want to call it, it is the thing itself. And so as we breathe in on that first breath with whatever word makes you comfortable, and then out with a God is on the in-breath and an out, I am. And then two more silently, just getting centered. Just feeling more comfortable, going deeper, pulling higher from that divine center that just says yes to the highest and best. And so what I know right here and right now today is that this is my opportunity. There are so many chances coming here, there, and everywhere for me to build my spiritual muscle, for me to stand in my strong center of that love, of that compassion, of that soulfulness, and be that light in the community that I have always admired and continue to work diligently, not diligently, but to continue to find in my joy and my bliss that center that reflects that light out into the world. So together as we close, say with me, and y'all say it first, I am a light unto the world. Together, a light unto the world. And so it is. It is. And so it is. Now we bring up Pamela Bailey, who absolutely further deepens us with who we're all about.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. And so now we have this light of all the candles of faith, and we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from that one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. And putting in my own interpretation, the commonality of all these different paths is that they're based in love. So just wanted to say that. So first we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the candle for those who are, as yet, unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them at this center, and for all religions unnamed in this ceremony. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. Thank you. And Pam, what's next?
Is Addy.
Yay!
Addy and Nora.
Addy and Nora are coming up next, our lovely girls.
Yeah.
And talented.
I'm so glad you our music.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom, but who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. Listen carefully to the sound of the loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost, and what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Same weather, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You'll know.
Girls, that was wonderful. And I don't even know if you knew what the talk is, but it's absolutely perfect for today. I don't even think you're aware of it. So Mirna is talking about the mysterious ways to find your joy, to absolutely follow your joy. Has anybody had a challenge this week with following their joy? Yeah. Well, I want to tell you something. This is, I think, given all the years of all the training and everything else, not the training, but the practices of going higher, digging deeper, first of all, in ministerial school, and maybe Mirna can absolutely validate this, we were taught never to talk about politics. We were a 501c3. Any church, anywhere worshiping should not be talking about politics. And so when you look at that, you have to pull deeper. And when things upset you, and everywhere I turned this week, there were things that were upsetting me. I don't listen to the news, but I'm telling you, even a neighbor came to my house sobbing. And my joke is, this is hilarious, is first of all, my septic tank is right now, the lid's off. It's been dug up. There's no lights. I'm at the end of a dirt road. Rarely do people come to my door at night. And I hear this pounding and sobbing, and I won't tell, you'll know who it is if I say, so I don't want to say. And it wasn't family, just in case. Came to my door, and I went, oh my God, are you okay? Well, it was over politics. And all I could tell her was to pull from what I know. And every time you pray or treat to go into that place and regain that blissful feeling, that joy, is where you build your spiritual muscle over and over and over again, where you get to that point where you can speak sanely about things without pointing fingers. So I've always turned to Krishna and Arjuna, the big battle in the Bhagavad Gita, and they're cousins, and they're in the battlefield, and they're fighting for the land. But there's two reasons they're fighting for the land. One wants the money and to sell it out from family and just get the money, and Krishna wants to keep it together and keep the family at one. And so I learned from this. This is not an easy decision, and the cousins loved one another. But basically, Krishna wins out because it's for the highest and best good. And Ernest Holmes always went to that highest and best good. When you come to that crossroads, choose the one, no matter how difficult it is, that is the highest and best. So we've discovered the spiritual universe. Others have discovered the same thing, that you have a lot of joy offered to you in this world, sailing around it and raising your consciousness. To me, pure, deep joy and bliss is in that oneness. When you're in those private meditative moments, when all you have is the divine and you. They say the reason Jesus healed so effectively is because he was the closest connection to the divine. His energetic presence was so strong that all you had to do is be in that presence to be healed. So the blind man could see, and the guy could pick up his bed and walk just from that vibration. And that's our job too here. As spiritual people, our job is to stay in the presence and to let our light shine no matter what. Now, that wasn't the first person. 3 people called me, came to me at my door unexpectedly. You know, it's always great when you have the hair rollers in and the jammies on. And I didn't have hair rollers on. I had my jammies on. I'm thinking, who the H is this coming to my door? That you have to completely go within deeper and pull higher from who you are. Now, also, it reminds me, and I don't know what your quotes you're going to use, but Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. And what is your bliss? It's whatever puts you on fire. Fire to where you lose track of time and you just want that absolute excitement to do it. I would assume that's Nora and Addy and their music. You probably get together and you love doing what you're doing, or you wouldn't be sharing your gift with us today, honey, and doing it with practice, 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 and the same with prayer. To be good at not what you do, but to embed and pull from those principles, it takes practice, 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 so that when that light shows up, it is at its fullest and its best. If you follow your bliss and you put yourself on a track that absolutely is waiting for you, the hall doors open, everything opens. I always tell this joke about my friend Lucy, who said, when one door closes, another one opens, but those hallways sure are a bitch. So anyway, and they are. And we're getting through the hallways. That's all I can say. And it's a matter of your passion. What do you keep coming back to for your passion? What brings you that blessings and joys when you're in your bliss, for you to absolutely let go of ego, just be in that moment, lose track of time and everything else, because you are so on fire with desire in that moment. I found my bliss a long time ago, as other has too, like our poets. I'll go back to me in a second, but our poets, like I always go to Tagore and Rumi and Satchel Paige, you know, who the baseball player, and he's and obviously all of these people had their bliss. Satchel Paige not only was one of the greatest baseball players, he was monumental, and he was in the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was monumental in letting go down the color barriers in baseball. He was very, very important to that. And so I have a simple formula and a pattern for following your bliss and making it come to fruition as well. First of all, it is the passion. Second is listen to your inner self. And when are you with your inner self? In those quiet moments, and you can do it in a crowd. You can do it when someone's crying at you, crying with you. Your job as spiritual leaders, and each one in here is absolutely, that I know sitting in this room today, the masses now sitting here, are spiritual leaders. And your job is to stay in that, not to buy into the drama, but to see not only what is, I'm not saying ignore it, but to see that this is a new cleansing coming up, a new way of being love, being more compassionate, being greater than we have been before. And so that's number one. Listen to your inner self and find out what excites you. And what excited me, and it's been this way ever since, and this is when I was young, and some of you, my stories are so old for some of you, but here we go, is I was regressed back to a time when my job was to teach. It was way back in Greece, like in 10,000 BC in Antioch, Greece, and it was about telling and teaching everyone that what is in a grain of sand is in each and every one of us, and that we are all connected. That every individualized grain of sand has its own fingerprint, just like people do, but we're all connected. So we're in this energetic web of good. So now the second one is take positive action. Go beyond not just your passion, but actually take steps towards your progress and your passions to see them out picture. Well, when I found religious science, it was a done deal, because we talk about the oneness all the time, the aspect of the oneness, and that we are that light, and without our light, the world is a lot darker place. And the third one is trust the process. Let go, let God, and follow then the next steps that come to you. And don't discount your passion in any way, no matter how difficult it is. So I close with the wisdom of Winnie the Pooh. And when he's speaking to his best friend Piglet, and for me, when I speak to my word to my best friend, it is divine spirit. You can call it God, love, Jesus, whatever it is, Krishna, Buddha, whatever it is the thing itself. And Pooh says in his world to Piglet, if ever there is a tomorrow when we're not together, there is something you must always remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we're apart, I'll always be with you. Remember, the love of the divine is always with you, in and through expressing as you. So I just wish you all peace and wisdom and joy. And now, and so it is, and so it is. Okay, so we are now playing a song. Oh, I love this song. It's planting seeds, and it's perfect for today. And I've asked Marcy to play it all the way through the end, through credits, and through the last statement. So enjoy. This is one of my very favorites.
spent a long time running. I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it. Not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows, with no credit to take cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does you just smile cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows
Yep,
will grow,
when it grows it grows,
whatever dies will
and when it dies it dies. Come on,
works will
if it works it works.
whatever flies will
Let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will
When it
fail,
fails it
what's meant
fails.
to soar will
Come when it
soar.
soars it soars.
I am planting seeds.
Whatever
grows will
Let it grow, let it
whatever
grow.
dies will
If
die.
it dies it dies.
Whatever works will
And when it works it works.
whatever flies
Yeah,
will
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
Fails it fails.
To soar will soar.
Let it soar.
I am planting seeds
and nothing more. Nothing more.
You know, when you smile, it just helps someone to know that you're cared about and that you love them.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, everything that was said before this moment. Oh. Yes, microphone. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. And everything that was said before this moment, for me standing here, it's so amazingly true. Follow your joy. Follow your bliss. Planting a seed. One of the things that I love to do is get my hands dirty in the dirt and just plant seeds and grow plants. In fact, we just recently moved here, and we went to the house last weekend, and my tenant threw away some of my plants. One of them was a guava tree that I was growing from seeds, and the other one was there was a guava and the papaya that I germinated from seeds, and it was just like, oh, oh. But during the winter they don't bloom or they don't grow because they're from warm weather. But anyways, as you know, my name is Mirna Morales, and I am so grateful to be here. I am so honored to be able to do this talk. And it's interesting, right? Because I'm sitting there and I'm so nervous. But when I stand here, I find that resilience. I find that place that brought me to this space, that brought me to be here talking to you this morning. And it is following my inner joy. It is following that that energy that God pushes you forward, right? It's the divine urge to create. And for me, it's always been about learning. It's been about studying. It's been about stepping out of my comfort zone, because talking to people in this way, it is stepping out of my comfort zone. Until I get to be as proficient and as wonderful as Reverend Pam, I think it's going to take a little while. I'm just getting it started. But, I've talked for my living most of my life, so this is part of that process for me. So my talk today is about following your joy and how God works in mysterious ways. And that's the energy that I live in. It's easy to be home, sit on my couch and close my eyes and meditate, because I can go into joy, I can go into whatever. I try to get the weeds out of my brain so I can really concentrate on following my joy while I'm meditating. But when we step outside in the real world, things are a little bit different, aren't they? And especially now. So one of the things that for me is, it's important to set my day. It's just like whenever I do a talk, it is important for me to set the energy of the talk. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a minute. And let's take a moment to breathe deeply, to center ourselves in the presence of the divine. So one more time, take another deep breath. Let us affirm that we are open channels for joy, love, and the divine wisdom. That's truly who we are. And may this time together uplift us, inspire us, and guide us towards a life of greater alignment with our highest truth. And so it is. So please forgive me. I want to use my little toys because I'm trying to keep myself organized with my thoughts. I tend to go here and there, so this is the way that I can keep myself in alignment. So today we explore the profound power of choosing to live in joy. Choosing to follow your joy even in the midst of the busyness of life, or the stuff that is going on in the politicians' world, or the natural disasters, or whatever is going on out there. What's in here is God. What's in within us, that joy, that demonstration of, I was thinking about how to explain what joy truly is. And the first idea that comes to my mind is, when you have a pet, and especially dogs, right? You come home and they're so busy and they're happy and they're walking and dancing around your legs, and that's happiness. That's happiness. But joy is a little bit different. Joy is just living in reverence of who we are. Joy is a song of the soul. And this is from the internet, by the way. I decided I wanted to Google, what is joy? And so the things that came out was, joy is the song of the soul, a melody of love, gratitude, and divine connection. Isn't that amazing? That with just a little bit of a tweak of your mindset, we are able to enter into a space of divine connection. And it's not that we're ever separated. We're always connected. But with our mind, with our nervousness, with our belief and lack and limitation, and putting our attention in the stuff that is going on outside of who we are, then we bring that energy in, and we forget that we are meant to live in joy. We are meant to be connected to the divine in every single way that we live our lives. We're not separate. We're all together in this. And so the idea that there is somebody out there that is yelling to somebody else, that's their business. That's not my business. And, you know, I love the quote from Ernest Holmes when he said, when you see a discordant fact, turns towards the truth. And so what is the truth of being? That we're always connected, that we are co-creators with God, right? We're not separate. We're not looking at life as like, I'm doing this together. Well, I tried in my younger years to be in control. And then as I grew older, I realized that control is not a real thing. You know, what's real is to sit on my couch and meditate. What is real to do, follow my joy, to stand here and talk, even though I'm nervous or, you know, it takes days of preparation, writing and rewriting and making sure that I get it all ready and that I am logical and, you know, that now we have tools, right? So I asked for ChatGPT to please make sure that it's in order, that it's grammatically correct for me. English for me is a second language, so, you know, it's not easy. But I've been doing it for so long that I'm getting better. And that's the part that I really like, that the more I do what I do, the better I get. So number 2, what is joy? Joy is the breath of a spirit, always present, filling us with light and life. Light and life, or life and light, or life and light and joy, or life and light and happiness and abundance and perfection. You know, when we look inside, we see the inner perfection. When I close my eyes and take a deep breath, I'm looking at me from a different perspective. I'm looking at myself from my connection to the divine. I'm not saying whatever. I'm not looking at everything that is going outside, because that's not what's important. What's important is who I am and what I bring to the world. Right? We're the little pebble that goes on the lake and then sends ripples. So when we go someplace and we have the energy of joy within us, we're not creating havoc. We're creating love. We're creating joy. We're creating an atmosphere of peace and love and calmness. That's why people come to Reverend Pam. That's why they call her when they're fretting about what's going on outside. Yes, it is painful to see somebody get humiliated. It is painful to see what's going on in the world right now. How can we change that? We change it by changing ourselves. We don't change it by, believe me, I tried, by, you know, answering the Facebook posts that are hateful and getting involved with that energy. I just decided, you know what? Click them off. I don't need that energy in my life. I want to concentrate on really living from the inside out, because that is my goal, is to really always listen to my inner voice so I can bring that forward. So imagine a life where joy is not an occasional visitor, but a guiding principle, a compass directing towards your divine alignment. That's what joy does for us. It brings us closer to that energy of more, that energy of perfection, right? So in my mind, I decided, when we came here, I decided, well, I want to go visit different churches, because I want to know where I can live, where I can participate, where I can be a part of the church. And so we went to a couple of different churches, and then I kept wanting to come here. And Scott, my husband, asked me, why there? And I said, well, I like the energy, right? I like the energy that is there. I know that I can participate and I can contribute, and that's the whole point. Right? We contribute to wherever we are, but we don't have to contribute in any other way than being the positive energy that we are, being the love that we are, being the energy of joy and following that energy, right? That's what brings us to the perfection that God is within us. So the Bible says that joy is a fruit of the Holy Spirit that comes from God and flows from within. And how do we allow this? How do we allow ourselves to live from the inside out? Prayer and meditation. We can focus on what is good that is going on in the world. I'm not saying that we have to ignore, you know, all the stuff that is going there, but pray about it. You know, don't take it into your home with you. Change the channel. Pray about what is going on and pray for the light. Pray for the energy that we want to see in the world, right? How do we change? Mahatma Gandhi said that how we change the world is by being the energy of change that we want to see in the world. That is the point. The Science of Mind textbook says, the definition of the Science of Mind textbook is joy is the emotion excited by the expectancy of good, gladness, delight, and exultation. Those are amazing words. You know, and every time I have a question, I go back to the textbook. So yesterday I brought the textbook to the couch with me and I started reading because I wanted to be in the energy of Ernest Holmes because, you know, how many of you have read Shakespeare? Okay, some of it, yes, it's a lot, right? Excuse me. But the energy of the plays and what Shakespeare wrote 400 or 500 years ago is still relevant today, right? That's exactly how I feel about the Science of Book textbook. The energy that he used to write the textbook back in the 30s and 40s is still here. It's still relevant because we're talking about human emotion and our connection to the divine. How we see it, how we feel it, how we experience it. It's in our minds. So when we change our mind, we can change the outcome of our lives, of the energy that is going out there. So the only power, true power that we have in our lives is what? It's the power of our emotions. It's our attitude. It's how we see the world. And so if I'm seeing something that I don't like outside, then do I want to get engaged in that? Or do I want to say, no, I'm going to sit in meditation and I'm going to let it pass. I'm going to sit in meditation and pray about what the outcome is that I want to see in my world. So, you know, I was doing my research for the talk and then somebody started talking about, or I read something about, when you go to an eye doctor, they cover one eye, right? And they see the other eye, and then they cover the other eye. And then they see the other eye. But what happens when they take the things off and then you can see exactly. So just, this is what I wrote. Just as an optometrist asks us to cover one eye, then the other eye, then we learn that true vision isn't about one perspective or another. It is about the integration of both, revealing the wholeness that was always there. So when the elections happened, the Sunday after the elections, I was invited to do a talk, and I was told, you know, all of the disappointment that people were feeling in the congregation. But what came very clearly is, are we seeing this half empty or are we seeing it half full? Because the reality is that the energy that we're seeing outside is an energy that we invoked, whether we voted for it or not. But we see that this is the energy. So how do we know that this is the truth? It's because this is the energy that we're seeing, right? So how do we change it? Prayer and meditation. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Instead of engaging with the trolls and all of the people that are creating a lot of animosity and discord out there, let's enter into the peacefulness and the joyfulness of who we are. Let's enter into our divine connection so that we're not being rattled, right, by what's going on outside. So what are the hallmarks of joy in our lives? It's laughter. It's purpose. It's togetherness. So why is it important for me to come here every Sunday? It's because I'm in connection. I'm in community. I can get to listen to Reverend Pam or Pamela Bailey, and I can get a different idea of what it means to be alive in our world today. And for me, being in you know, I just signed up for 3 classes. And so for me, being in ministerial school has been such an amazing thing because I actually am seeing myself grow. I'm seeing, as God even says, wow, you know, he's glad to be in my life when I'm going through this process because when I grow, he grows. Yeah, because he's getting a different perception of what life is, right? Because I'm not sitting there and not talking about. We talk about stuff. I mean, we walk together and we talk about all the stuff that is going on in my mind, in his mind. That's how we come together. We share who we are, right? I have, for whatever reason, I really don't do this purposely, but when I step someplace, I show who I am. Some people may like it, some people may not like it, but I can't hide who I am. Right? So what is that energy of who you are that wants to show up in your world? Is it the energy of love? You know, my sister has a big family, and her joy is to cook for everybody. Her joy is to host a lot of parties and birthday parties and all of that, but that's how she thrives. She likes being a grandma. She's raised every single one of her grandchildren. That's her joy. Now, that's not my joy. My joy is standing here and talking. My joy is continuing to study, right? I have 2 children. My family is not a big family, so my joy is growth. It's looking at life in a different way. It's stepping outside of my comfort zone. It's being alive in this space and energy of joy for myself and for the center and for everybody that I come in contact with. You know, sometimes just smiling to somebody is enough. Somebody that is stressed and having a difficult time, you know, just pat him on the shoulder. Hey, everything is going to be all right. I'm praying for you. I'm loving you, right? So how do we cultivate joy in our lives? You know, when I was in real estate, I thought that making a lot of money, I was going to be really happy, very joyful, and very free. Ha! That was an illusion. That was an illusion because I'm not making the money that I was making when I was in real estate, but the reality is that I feel that joy every day when I wake up. I feel that joy every day that Scott gets home. You know, it's funny. We walk together and we hold each other's hands, and every once in a while we'll go to Costco, we'll go to the store, and then I have to go to the bathroom. And then I come out, and he's like waiting for me, and he's like this. Right? And I love that. That is my joy, right? When his arms are wide open and he holds me, it doesn't matter if it's Costco or if there's thousands of people out there looking at us, we hold each other and we kiss each other and then we hold hands and we walk. That's joy. But it's something that he and I have created. Right? And it's something that we can all create. And I'm not talking about relationships at this moment. I'm talking about just the energy of love, the energy of connection, the energy of following your joy. Because trust me, if it wasn't that I finally eventually got to learn what that really meant, because it took me years to figure out what it meant to follow my joy, I wouldn't be standing here. I would probably be sitting at my house watching telenovelas. You guys know what telenovelas are? Soap operas. So in 2018, when I decided to, or 19, I think it was 2019, when I decided to retire, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice to do something different with my life because I was used to chasing the dollar. I was used to changing my clients and calling clients and doing all the stuff that I needed to do for real estate. And all of a sudden, it just got quiet. And then when we finally moved to Lompoc the first time with Scott's job, he said, stay home for a year. And I said, okay. And then I got really depressed. And then I realized that if I sat home by myself while he went to work every day, I wouldn't be able to survive it. So I started walking. I started following my joy. I started going out there, and I don't know if anybody has lived in Lompoc or visited Lompoc, but there is wind. They're very close to the ocean, and I never felt so free as when the wind is blowing around me, because I used to walk the streets. I used to walk to Walmart. It's a small town, so we walked everywhere, but that is following my joy. Whatever that may be for you, just open yourself up to step in it. Step in that energy for you, because that is the energy of perfection. That is your divine inheritance. We didn't come here to suffer. We came here to find joy and to live in that energy. The perfection of life is right here, right now. In this precise moment. It's not out there. It's not tomorrow. It's not when I get a check. It's not when I heal something. The perfection of being in joy is in this moment, right here, right now. That is where I live. That's where I ask every single one of you to live, because that is a choice. You can live in sadness, or you can live in joy. You can live in happiness. You can live in abundance, because abundance, trust me, it's not money. Abundance is just living in the energy of love, in the energy of the divine. I don't know how long I've been talking. So let's talk about a couple of practical steps for living in joy and staying centered and balanced in that energy. Ask yourself, what brings me joy today? Surround yourself with joyful energy like music and laughter, and maybe calling a friend. Dial a friend. Remember that show, Dial a Friend? It's old. So for me, in my mind, I know that suffering is overrated. And trust me, I'm a Latino. I'm a Spanish woman. I grew up in El Salvador, and there was a lot of suffering in my country. And the thing is that it is a choice. As I learned that here in the United States, as I grew into science of mind, as you know, for me, finding science of mind was the greatest thing that I was able to do for myself. I studied English, I studied literature and poetry and Shakespeare, and I studied all of that. But when I found science of mind, it was like coming home. That's the energy that I believe in. So trust the process. Trust that where you are standing is the perfect space for you to be. Trust that sitting here is the perfect space for you to be on a Sunday. Trust that this moment in time is the perfection of your being, and that choosing joy, not just in this moment, but for every single aspect of our lives, choosing joy is exactly where we need to be. Not out there with the politicians and all of that stuff. That's their business. We're sitting here, we're standing here in a space of perfection, in the space of godliness. It is our divine inheritance to live in joy, to live in abundance, to live in a space of godliness. I have more, but so welcome to Life Transcendent. So my affirmation is, my life is always unfolding in divine perfection. So let's repeat that. My life is always unfolding in divine perfection, because it is. Whether we consciously choose it or unconsciously allow it to happen, whether it's good or bad, it's a choice. So why not take it up and decide, I choose joy today. Early in the morning when we wake up, just wake up in gratitude and decide, this is my joyful day. So, living from the inside out. The most important part of living in joy for me is the idea that joy equals living in the freedom of being. Not so much of being a doer, because I've been a doer most of my life, but truly releasing control and learning to live from the inside out. When we follow our inner joy, life changes. Things happen. Things materialize. You have a thought, and then all of a sudden you go out your door and you see something. You know, my mother had passed away, and I was very, very sad. One day I went to the laundry room, which is in the back of my house, and through my back yard, and there was this beautiful flower. In a very barren area of the yard, there was this beautiful flower, and I just knew that it was my mother's message for me. That's living in joy, right? I could have said, oh, who planted that there? It doesn't belong there. But for me, my choice was to say, this is a gift from my mom, because my mother loved flowers, and so do I. So for me, that was the looking at things from the lens of expectation, of joy, of love, the love that my mother and I had for each other. So in closing, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes one more time. Just take a deep breath and just settle in, relax, and just listen to these words. A spirit of joy, we thank you for reminding us that joy is our divine right. May we walk forward with hearts open, trust that we follow joy as we follow you, that we're following our divine blessings as we enter into the space of joy. That is what this moment is about. Choosing to live in joy. So blessings to every single one, and thank you for listening. May these days truly be one where you choose to step outside of your comfort zone and choose joy, and choose love, and choose abundance. It is a choice. Thank you, and so it is. Oh. Heidi and Nora will thrill us with, you know, those THR words. Oh, there we are, with another song. So you guys, you can come over. Thank you. Ain't no mountain high enough.
Okay. Funny story. We don't have a track for this one because it doesn't work. So it's going to be a cappella. So bear with us, please.
Okay. Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far, don't worry, baby.
Just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry.
You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe.
Remember the day I set you free? I told you you could always count on me, darling. From that day on, I made a vow. I'll be there when you want me some way, somehow. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. No wind, no rain, oh, winter's cold, can't stop me, baby. No, no, baby,
'Cause you are my goal.
if you're ever in trouble, I'll be there on the double. Just send for me, oh, baby.
My love is a heart, I'll be there in your heart, even though we are miles apart.
If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the double as fast as I can. Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby.
Great job. You're such a joy, Nora and Addy. And again, those are such great songs for today's theme and stuff. And with lights off, I am going to do the announcements right here and right now. And our wonderful Dr. Sue is Reverend Doc, the honored Reverend Dr. Sue is speaking next Sunday, March 9th, and Alberto, the great and incredible maestro, Alberto Del Pino, will be playing with her. And then March 9th, this is important for our center, we're having our annual meeting. If we would like your proxy if you can't be here, or to show up in person. And we have 2 new members I already know that are going to be on the board, and that's Steve and Therese, and so we're really excited about that. They're up for being voted in, and you got my vote. And Steve is, ever since he walked in the door, I'm not going to tell you the story, but he was meant to be here. I'm just telling you, he was meant to be at home with us. Anyway, so please show up right after. There's finger foods, and then we'll do voting, and you'll get the state of the center's well-being. So now, Mirna, do you want to come up and talk about A Course in Miracles, or just really briefly here, honey. Yeah.
Thank you. So every Tuesday evening, and we have been talking about maybe changing the day, but every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock, we meet for A Course in Miracles. At the moment, we're doing it online. We're in the process of talking to the board and figuring out if we're going to hold it here and online. So the Course in Miracles talks about forgiveness, and it talks about love. And I love what the Course in Miracles says. Whenever you're standing in front of someone else, that is a divine encounter. So for me, being here is that a divine encounter with each one of you. So join us for the Course in Miracles. It is free. Donations go to the church. Scott and I are just doing this because we love the center and we want the center to prosper. So whatever donations you may give for the Course in Miracles go to the church.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your wonderful talk.
Thank you.
And one of the things about being in your bliss is finding your authenticity, and you're very authentic, honey. Thank you so much, which brings a lot of personalness to it. Okay, then our next announcement is the 8 Thursday mornings of decision, and I've made a decision to show up, and it's a great class. That's all I can tell you. And making decisions has always been one of who ever has problems making decisions? Yeah, oh my God. Anyway, so I do. I have a really hard time with that. So come build your decision-making muscle here. So now on March 10th, we have Kathy Sachs, who's leading a once-a-month discussion group on life and the end of life, and it's a safe, supportive space. And I can tell you, I have a conflict usually at that time, but when I've been here, I've learned so much. Now, this is the biggie, and it's going to be fun. Save the date. Alberto is not only playing on the 16th, he's having a Celtic concert afterwards. There's going to be a lunch and then a Celtic concert starting at 1. And someone near and dear to my heart is doing Irish dance too there, my granddaughter, and she was here last year too. And so wear your green and show up, and it'll be fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Anyway, donate to Treasures Bookstore. Ralphie. And I just want to say something. Well, you're coming. It's one of those stories that when you talk, no one's ever greeted me at the bathroom. I'm just saying, nobody's ever walked me to the bathroom, except when my dad died. And to come on up, and 3 months afterwards, all of a sudden, I was just devastated. I'm in the I was working in a small production company with someone who is still my business partner. This is 40 years ago. And I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't, I couldn't even get it together. And pretty soon this note slips under my door. His name's Michael Emerson. I was working with in production. And the note says, everything coming out okay in there? And I opened the door, mascara running, sobbing, and he's on his knees, and he looks up with me. We worked with his wife, too. And he looks up at me, and he doesn't say anything. He yells, Christina! His wife. When you were saying that, that's my only bathroom encounter. Anyway, yes, tell us.
Okay, I have a few things from the store. I'm still trying to get these sold here. These bandanas. Everybody needs a bandana, don't they? And if your feet are hurting you, I have the solution here. So some inserts. Yeah, they're small feet. And then I have this beautiful engraving of a sailing ship. I think it's nickel silver, so it's really a nice piece to hang your towels, okay? And one final thing. No, I have two things. Dare to Believe. I think you've all heard of Joel Osteen. It's one of his discs here he's got out here. And one final thing, the book on unlimited power, the science of personal achievement. So There you go. Something to read.
I
Okay,
just want to
thank you.
thank you. You do a wonderful job in the bookstore. Yay, Ralph. Thank you so much. Okay. And then to go and find out what's happening, please go on our website or go on Facebook. And on we have an electronic email. Sign up for it. And all of the information there is to give from the heart to a center that gives so much from our hearts to out into the community. Okay, and then I am the prac of the day. I am the pod of the day, practitioner of the day, and I would love to see you if you would like treatment afterwards. I would be happy to spend time with you. And so on this note, now we are going to do our offertory. And so I just ask, I'll start with a closing prayer. And first of all, Mirna, thank you for your generosity about A Course in Miracles, too, for a donation or whatever it is. So as we go within, right here and right now, know with me that you are not giving away anything. You are opening up those doors to receive more. I know when I give from the heart to something that is the highest and best for so many people, and not only in my world, but in all worlds, in that energetic presence, that coin is that love, is that energy that goes out into the community. And right here and right now, we are in the process of rebuilding, especially after COVID and being through a few ministers after that. And so we invite you to give from the heart to make this light continue to shine bright. And as we pass the baskets now. And if willing, girls, will you come up and sing the peace song with us too? If willing. You don't have to. You can hum. That's okay. You can hum. Just come on up for your presence.
Shannon wanted to make an announcement about Nikki.
Oh, Shannon, I'm sorry. There's one other announcement. Shannon, come up. Yeah. Yeah. This is one of our long members' daughter, Shannon, Nikki. And so, and she wants to make it, because her mom is, you tell.
Well, most of you know who my mom is, Nikki Brooke, and I came from Kansas on Tuesday to try to come get conservatorship of her, to take her out of the facility and to take her back to Kansas with me. And after the court hearing is finalized and I get the green light to take her, I'd like to have some kind of luncheon where you all attend, where you guys can say your goodbyes to her, so she can leave, you know, on a good note with all of y'all, you know, seeing her for the last time, because she won't be back after I take her to Kansas. So I just wanted to let y'all know that, and I'm going this week, hopefully, to get the paperwork into the courts, and hopefully I'll have, if not by the 28th, hopefully sooner, that I'll be able to get an answer. Saying thank you.
This is a tough job, and also Tom, who has been by her side supporting her, Tom Mott. It is wonderful. You stay up and we'll sing the peace song. Do you?
Also, one other thing, she's my biological mother. I was put up for adoption. I have a half sister, which is her daughter. We can't find her, and so I had to come down and take care of the situation. And my family supports me, and however long it takes for me to get this taken care of, that's what I'm going to do.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. Stay up. We'll sing. Come on. Come on up. We can hum. Pamela Bailey, come up. Mirna, come up. Yeah. And, oh, you can hum too. Come on over here.
I love to sing, but you know I don't know.
You know what? Your mom too. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I know it in my mind. I feel it in my body. I see it in my life. And so it is. Woo! Happy Sunday.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. And just keep us in the scoop of course.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Oh, me, yes.